Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, it's Maze MTG here with another deck tech video for you. Today's deck we're looking at is the best of one standard, although you could potentially take it into a traditional standard queue. And just as a disclaimer, it is on the jankier side compared to some of the other standard decks we've been having a look at, but it's also pretty sweet. So this deck's built around one specific card to try and maximize that card to get the most we can out of it in standard at the moment, and that card is Karn the Great Creator. If you've ever been on my Twitter or in the past, you may have noticed that I do have an obsession with Tron in Modern. Karn Liberated was kind of the poster child for that deck, but since the release of War of the Spark and Karn the Great Creator, he's also slid his way into the deck as well, and now we have two Karns in Standard. It would be rude not to try and put something together with this card in. So what does Karn the Great Creator do? He's a 4-mana Planeswalker, comes in with 5 loyalty, static ability, the activated abilities of artifacts your opponents control can't be activated. Not the most relevant in Standard right now, however, it's his -2 where Karn shines. So his -2 allows us to wish for an artifact from outside the game, in this case in our sideboard, reveal it and put it into our hand. So especially in best of one Standard, this gives us a 15-card sideboard to act as a toolbox of cards to pull into the game with Karn as best suited to the situation. So yes, this is a best of one deck with a sideboard. The sideboard is very important to the deck, and we'll be having a look at the sideboard shortly as well. His +1, also pretty relevant, so until your next turn up to one target non-creature artifact gets animated, so it becomes an artifact creature with power and toughness each equal to its converted mana cost. So when we jump into the sideboard, you see God-Pharaoh's statue. Don't be concerned, it is a marginal effect, but also more importantly, Karn can convert it into a 6-mana 6/6, which we can then use to attack, close the game if we need to push through some additional damage. So as I've said already, Karn's not the only Karn. We do also have a single copy of Karn Scion of Urza. The top end of this deck's turned into kind of a mono-green Super Friends package, so Karn's just there as a one-off to draw to play to accrue advantage with his +1/-1, and occasionally going to be churning out some constructs with the -2, and if Karn the Great Creator's been pulling some artifacts out of your sideboard, you've been putting them onto the battlefield, those constructs are going to be bigger than they would just otherwise be feeding off other constructs. So now we've had a look at the Karns, let's have a look at the rest of the deck, starting in the 1-mana slot with Llanowar Elves. Typical 1-mana acceleration creature, coupled with 4 Paradise Druids, allowing us to play our 4-drops ahead of curve most importantly. We have 4 Wildgrowth Walker, 4 Branchwalker, 4 Jadelight Ranger, the 3 Amigos, kind of the Explore package. They've gone together since Rivals of Ixalan came out, introducing Jadelight Ranger to the format, allowing mid-range decks with green cards in to survive mono-red, to survive mono-white, to get to the mid-late game where the deck gets to enact their plan, and I think we're going to need some help getting to that point, so this seemed like an ideal fit in a mono-green shell. Ripjaw Raptor is our other 4-drop, potentially could be a sideboard inclusion if you're looking to play the deck in best of 3 format, but as we're going to be playing best of 1, there's likely going to be a lot of mono-red, mono-white. Ripjaw Raptor has an oversized body, provides an advantage when creatures attack into it, it gets to block. It can attack in quite profitably. If it gets chumped, you're drawing a card. It's just overall a potent card that seems to be finding a home in Standard at the moment. It was in the Gruul deck that I looked at yesterday as well. Now we're past the 4-drop slot. We've already looked at our Karns, 2 of our Super Friends. Our remaining Super Friends, 4 Nissa, who shakes the world, because what green deck isn't playing Nissa right now? The ability to ramp could be important if you want to play Karn -Karn, fetch an artifact, play it in the same turn. We certainly have things we can be doing with the mana, and the ability to animate your lands, send them in, always very powerful, especially as they have functional haste. 2 copies of Vivien Reid, playing her in the main deck. We're mono-green, so our 5-mana Planeswalkers, we don't have many other options, but that's not to say that Vivien's not powerful. Her +1 allows us to dig to other creatures, get value off things like Jadelight Ranger, or just deploy a Ripjaw Raptor. -3, incidentally, killing Krasis. And -8 is like a game-finishing indestructibility aura. And then lastly, because we're kind of going on a Tron theme, we've got 3 Ugin the Ineffable. So Ugin makes our Karns cost 2, our artifacts cost slightly less. I can't imagine it's going to come up all that often, but what I do like is the +1 to generate 2/2 bodies. When they die, you gain advantage by drawing those cards, and the -3 is powerful removal in a pinch. So those are the non-land cards in the deck. Aside from that package of spells, we're playing 17 basic forests, so just green mana. No Memorial, we want everything to come into play untapped where possible. And then the remains of our 23 lands 2 Blast Zone, 4 Field of Ruin. Because we're a mono-color deck, we get to play some utility lands in these slots. Blast Zone is a powerful tool, especially with Nissa. You can ramp up, destroy opposing permanents with a land. And Field of Ruin allows us to punish the mana base of perhaps decks that have been greedier with their mana, like Esper, like Jeskai. And as you'll see in a moment, we have a way to punish them further in the Karn sideboard as well. So what are we going to be looking to access with Karn the Great Creator? Here we have 15 cards. Fountain of Renewal. The life gain is less relevant than being able to just sacrifice the Fountain of Renewal to draw a card, so it effectively allows you to cycle a Karn activation into a new card. Silent Gravestone. If you need to hate out a graveyard, exile a whole graveyard against something like Phoenix, it's a tool available to you. Sorcerous Spyglass, you might notice, is a 3 of, despite obviously us not expecting to be able to get into our sideboard in the traditional manner. The reason for this, we have 4 Karns, we have at least 8 activations between them if we draw all of them. Opponents will have perhaps more than one problematic Planeswalker, and while we do have the Immortal Sun in the sideboard, it's kind of a nuclear option considering the amount of Planeswalkers we're playing as well. We just want to be able to get some Spyglasses one by one, shut opposing Planeswalkers down. Thaumatic Compass is fun, gets us lands, more importantly, converts itself into a Maze of Ith in the late game. Potentially not the best, but again we have 15 sideboard slots, and if we never need a Thaumatic Compass, we never have to go get it. Treasure Map. Again, a fun card, gets you some value, can help ensure that if you do have Karn Scion of Urza in play, if you're able to flip it, the constructs are incredibly large off the treasure tokens and anything else you may have on the battlefield already. So I mentioned when we had a look at Field of Ruin and Blast Zone that we were going to be able to get more value out of them than you could in a standard deck. That's because we have access to 2 Crucible of Worlds. The reason we're playing 2, I want some redundancy if the opponent finds a way to incidentally remove one of them. But the ability to replay Blast Zones, replay Field of Ruins allows you to really disrupt your opponent's mana. You'll have recurring land-based removal as well. It just seems like a potent combination of effects. And again, if it doesn't come up that it's important, because it's such a toolboxy sideboard, we can just leave the Crucibles alone. No problem. Next, Transmogrifying Wand. Probably not good, probably never good, but it's fantastic. If you really absolutely have to turn an opponent's creature into an Ox, Transmogrifying Wand out of the sideboard is a tool to allow you to do so. Helm of the Host. Fun equipment again in the sideboard. Having a look through the artifacts in standard right now, you might end up sticking it on something like a Jadelight Ranger, Ripjaw Raptor. Either way, is an interesting combination. If Karn animates a creature, you could always put, animates an artifact, you can always put Helm of the Host on it to make a copy. So something like God-Pharaoh's statue, perhaps? Not 100% sure how that interaction works, so maybe we'll have to try it in a game. Icy Manipulator. Again, not the best rate on the card, but it is a way to have your Karn's -2 turn into removal, locking down a permanent. So again, it's just for that flexibility in the slot in the -2. God-Pharaoh's statue, we've talked about a couple of times now, the War of the Spark on common. Makes your opponent's spells cost 2 more to cast, so you're taxing them, and at the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses 1 life. So a small bit of inevitability there, but if Karn is +1ing, it's also going to be a 6/6 for 6, which is pretty chonky in its own right. Another card that would be a 6/6 for 6 if it wasn't a nombo with Karn and stopped him from doing it is the Immortal Sun. So, I've said already, Sorcerous Spyglass is our preferred option to kind of pinpoint shut down specific Planeswalkers, but sometimes you're going to be behind against Esper Planeswalkers, going to be behind against Jeskai Planeswalkers, and you know an Immortal Sun is going to shut down the vast majority of their threat base, while we're still playing the Explore Creatures Ripjaw Raptors. So sometimes the Immortal Sun is going to be necessary, not always, but it's... Okay, it's time for some gameplay with Karn Tron. First opponent lined up, let's see what's going to happen. So, very keepable opener. Got 2 of our super friends, a couple of ramp cards, 2 lands. We'll keep it. Can't not keep it, right? Land, elf, go. A land, elf, go. Next turn, we're just going to run out Paradise Druid, Lava Runner, Mono Bread. So in that case, I'll be running out Paradise Druid. Because we'd like to cast Karn next turn. I suppose if Llanowar Elves dies, we have to draw a land anyway. And Paradise Druid won't leave the battlefield. No attacks. The question then is, do we... Ooh, we should have played Branchwalker possibly to trade with Lava Runner. Well, this is an okay start for us. This is an okay start for us. I'm not trading, because Karn making constructs gives us another blocker. Okay, we draw Jadelight Ranger. That's interesting. So if we do play Karn, the only thing is we do tap out, which leaves Paradise Druid vulnerable to be killed. So maybe we do just play Jadelight and look for natural lands, and then block with Jadelight on something. What do we find? A Ripjaw Raptor. It's a good card, but I don't think we can cast it. Okay, we drew the land we were looking for. We'll play a land. We'll make Branchwalker. It puts shields down on our Paradise Druid, but I'm likely wanting to trade off these creatures anyway, just to preserve our life total. Well, Chain Whirler was bad for us. Yep. So what's going on here? We're going to be making a construct next turn to try and trade with the Pyromancer. So we'll block like, ooh, Karn. What can Karn get us? Karn Father, can you save us? I don't think he can, unfortunately. What could Karn get to stop the chain whirling onslaught? Nothing particularly. Alright, so if we Karn -2, we get a construct. If opponent decides to attack into Karn, it saves us a reasonable amount of life. Really, we need an answer to this Chain Whirler. I wish we did have the Ripjaw Raptor, honestly. I suppose if we hadn't cast a Jadelight, we wouldn't have the land. What are we drawing to if we plus Karn? Another Ripjaw Raptor? Opponent's not going to give us a Ripjaw Raptor. I think we just make a robot. And hope opponent doesn't have another Chain Whirler. Okay, what's next? What's next, opponent? At least we have both Karns. Runaway Steamkin. Choo-choo. Choo-choo. They are going after Karn. So we can either chump on Chain Whirler to save Karn, but all Karn will do then is draw a card. Or we can just say that Karn gained us 5 life and trade here. Which I'm happy with. I mean, happy is a strong word, but it's acceptable. Ooh, Ripjaw Raptor. Here we go. Disma 4/5. He a very big boy. He's a very large dinosaur. Large and in charge. Oh no, my face. Don't do that to my face. My lovely face. Yes. What do you get? Land and strike. Okay, so you can strike my face again. Ow. Ow. Skewer. Okay, is opponent going to attack with both? Oh, this stays in exile. If opponent attacks with both, we go to, what, 4? 5. Chandra? How am I meant to answer Chandra? Actually, I know how. Okay, so what's happening here? Well, we're going to hold back Ripjaw. We're at a virtual 5. We're going to Karn. Karn minus. So what do we get with Karn that's good here? Okay, we've got another opponent though. Let's see if Mono Green Karn Tron can do anything different in this game. So once again, pretty reasonable hand. If we can draw like Wildgrowth Walker on 2, I wouldn't even be scared about playing Mono Red again. I mean, I guess we have Ripjaw Raptor this time. Ooh, a blue. A blue. An island. We'll play a second forest and pass. Opponent is opting EOT. Sure. And they top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Opponent's on 8 cards, but I imagine they'll have a land, so irrelevant. Oh no! Don't do that! What do they take? Nissa, presumably? Or like Karn or Raptor? Don't think they take a Jadelight Ranger. No, they do take a Jadelight Ranger. Okay, my bad. I lied. So we draw Vivien. Well, they know we have Jadelight, so we're going to make Jadelight. I would like Jadelight to draw me... We will put him in the bin. Llanowar Elf goes in the bin. So opponent is playing a Thief of Sanity. So that's scary for this turn. But what opponent doesn't know is that we have Vivien Reid to kill it. So we're going to get in with Jadelight Ranger. Maybe opponent trades. Can't imagine they do. Then we'll deploy Ripjaw Raptor. Because opponent's not in white, I imagine Ripjaw Raptor is slightly more problematic for them to remove than it might otherwise be. I mean, we're getting hit by Thief of Sanity, which is kind of a pain. Thought Erasure takes Vivien. Now we're not so much in trouble, actually, still. If opponent has a negate for our Nissa, we're in a bad way. But currently, it's not like opponent's going to hit much off our deck, right? They can't really use Karn. Okay, so that's a 5th mana. Well, we'll play Field of Ruin. We'll make Nissa. Does opponent have negate? Yeah, opponent has negate. That's kind of sad. Alright. In with the creatures. Unfortunate. Yep. What's Thief gonna get? Don't get opponent a Nissa, please. I don't want to lose to my own Nissa. I mean, I suppose opponent will be having a good time if we lose to our own Nissa. Well, they took something. Oh, Branchwalker's okay. I guess Branchwalker trades with Jadelight Ranger. Vraska's Contempt is on top. Ooh, Ugin the Ineffable. Alright, I guess we're going to do a combat. We're going to do a combat. Opponent's going to trade. So opponent has 3 mana. So I'm going to assume they have a Sinister Sabotage. But if they don't, it's better to play Ugin. Ooh. So we can either make a 2/2, which gives us lethal, or we can just kill Thief of Sanity. I'm kind of over this Thief of Sanity at this point. So I think I'm going to Thief of Sanity. Also because Vraska's Contempt means a 2/2 isn't lethal anyway. And if opponent has to tap out for Vraska's Contempt, we get to play Karn, make a construct. Oh, they have an Ugin of their own. Is this my Ugin or their Ugin? It's my Ugin. So Ugin's going to kill Raptor. Sure. Alright, well, we're going to make a creature. Dueling Ugins. We're going to play a Karn. We're going to view the battlefield. Ooh, there's a Karn under that, 2/2. Let's draw a card. Ooh, that's a good hit. Which of those would you like to give me, opponent? Karn. Sure. That's fine. Land. Karn. So we have access to 3 mana here. Let's minus. What are we looking for? Opponent has a Vraska's Contempt. But we have 7 mana. And once again, if opponent taps out for Vraska's Contempt, we're in an okay spot. I don't really want to Sorcerous Spyglass my own Ugin here. I think we just get a Meteor Golem, honestly. Oh wow, Ugin makes our things cost less as well. Oh, we could have got Icy Manipulator Winter Method. We are going to Field of Ruin this though. Wow, such synergy. We have assembled the full team of Super Friends. The full assemblage of colourless Super Friends. Opponent's turn. Meteor Golem also means if they do spend their turn like contempting and making a 2/2, we just get in. They only have... Okay, so Ugin does a thing. Ugin does a thing. What's next? What is next? Don't read my Ugin. To be fair, if opponent kills Ugin, we can actually get a Sorcerous Spyglass and just feel fine about Spyglassing their Ugin. So that's okay. Okay, so we draw a land. Does mean our Meteor Golem costs 7, which is lame. We could just Meteor Golem that Ugin, actually. Could just Meteor Golem that Ugin, make a construct, and fetch something. could do that, because this is... Yeah. Okay, so we have 8 mana. Yeah, I'm thinking game, excuse me. Oh, I guess if we Meteor Golem the token, it ends up doing the same thing. Yeah, let's just make Meteor Golem. Let's kill this. Opponent gets the card, sure. Then we'll send this after Ugin. So Ugin goes down. Karn will make a construct. This Karn will minus. We're going to get Helm of the Host, because that seems sweet. And then we'll pass. Although it does cost 9, so I should have played land. So maybe it's not quite as sweet as I thought, but we can still play it, right? And eventually turn it into a creature. End to the God Eternals. Mean. Mean. That's very mean. What do we draw? Branchwalker. So. What was the other card exiled with Karn? Nissa? Ooh, okay. -1. Nissa, please. Thank you. So, let's tap this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nissa. Who shakes the world? Alright, I'm having enough fun that we're going to play one more game with Mono Green Karn Tron. Let's see what we can do this time. How's our opener? It's fine. It's kind of a traditional green opener. No Karns. But it's okay, we'll draw Karns. That's what the Branchwalker's for. Looking to lead Wildgrowth Walker on 2, probably. Unless we want to play Paradise Druid on 2 and try and play Walker Branchwalker on 3. I think I'd probably want to do that. What are we playing against? Grixis. Ooh, no. Don't take my cards, please. Please, Grixis opponent. Don't take my cards. They took my Wildgrowth Walker. That's acceptable. That's incredibly acceptable. Well, we'll play Druid. Because... why not? Yep. Discovery, sure. Is opponent... I guess that's still just probably Grixis. I guess they're just probably Grixis. So if we play Branchwalker and Elves, we play pretty heavily into Cry of the Carnarium. I guess opponent might not have a second black. We're just going to deploy the Raptor. The opponent didn't seem too concerned about Raptor. If we get Nicol Bolas here, we'll discard Llanowar Elf. Yep, so they have the second black. Nicol Bolas does happen here. Like I said, we'll discard Llanowar Elf. We draw Blast Zone. So that's our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th mana. We'll send with Ripjaw. Rip them. Rip them a new one, Ripjaw Raptor. Boom. So 5 mana. Not playing Nissa because we get to untap and then make a Branchwalker. We have plenty of forests, so I don't mind untapping a forest. We'll explore off this Branchwalker. We're at a point where... So, Jadelight Ranger. What are we doing next turn? 1, 2, 3, 4... wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can probably get away with leaving that on top. We can probably get away with leaving that on top. Don't play Nicol Bolas. I mean, if you do, it's not the end of the world. But, I wonder what opponent's 5 mana players. Ritual of Soot would be medium here. Yeah, sad. 4 4s are too big. But that's okay. This is completely fine. How rude indeed, Nissa. You tell them. You tell them. So our options here are... what? I feel like our options here are pretty good, actually. We'll play Ugin. We are going to minus Ugin on this Eternal. because we're going to... What's our opponent's mana base looking like? Can't really do much with Field of Ruin. But I also don't want our opponent killing our forests. And then we're just going to get in with everything. Like, opponent's at 8 here. If they want to send Nicol Bolas, that means they're tapped out. Well, their creature will be tapped. Nicol Bolas is legendary, and they don't tend to play that many creatures. Like, Nicol Bolas probably has to come after Nissa. So they're going to Bedevil the Raptor, sure. But does that mean they just like hold Nicol Bolas back? Because that doesn't work, assuming they have nothing else. Yeah, cool. So 2-1 overall with Mono Green Karn Tron. Deck's pretty fun, pretty entertaining. If you do try the deck out, if you make any changes, you can think of any improvements, please let me know. But I know I had a fantastic time playing it. I hope you do too as well. If you liked this content, if you could subscribe, it's much appreciated. It'll let you know if you choose to follow when further videos get posted. Otherwise, you'll also find a link to my Twitch in the description to the video below. If you want to see us playing any of these decks live, it might happen, although at the moment I'm playing a lot of War of the Spark Draft, so that might be a lie. Either way, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you again next time.